Yo, what's up, guys? We're back with another video today, and guys, UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues literally just took place. I'm not joking, less than like 10 minutes ago. So this is like an immediate reaction to this card. The card itself wasn't like the greatest. It started off pretty decent, I'd say, but then it kind of like fell flat when we got to like the midway point, and then started to pick up the pace when the co-main and especially the main event came to place. Main event was great. Early card was pretty good, and the middle part was meh. So I'd probably give this it wasn't as good as 312 was, so I have to give this a 5 out of 10. The main event carried this card a lot, and the prelims also did. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to recap everything that took place on this card. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, first fight we had on this card, guys. Julia Avaliel versus Jaculi. Yeah, I got this one correct, to be honest. I thought I was going to do a lot better on this card, guys, for my predictions, but yeah, it wasn't like the worst, but it wasn't the best either, you know? But with this fight, I mean, it went exactly how I thought, to be honest. Like, Jacqueline was just way younger, and Julian Aliv was just way older. And, I mean, she took a beating, I'll give her that, but there wasn't much else to, like, really talk about besides that she got the win, and she beat her up pretty badly. Alright. Next fight, Dante Limas versus Walter Walker. I'm actually surprised that Walker was able to finish him in the first round. I didn't think he was going to do that, but the fact that he did, yeah, I mean, there's no better way I could have had it, to be honest. Like, that's actually a performance that I would have really liked to see. He's actually a pretty good grappler, I feel. I mean, he did that in the first round. That was a good, like, ankle lock he got. I think it was an ankle lock. I can't exactly remember. I don't do jiu-jitsu 100%, but I'm pretty sure that was. That was a really good performance that Walter Walker put on against Limas. Vince Morales versus Agile Smith. This was actually a really good fight. This was actually, like, a really good fight. Smith won the first round, and then Morales came in the second round and almost submitted Smith, like, twice. He tried to do a Darce choke on him, and it was very tight, but Smith was able to survive. He was able to move to the top of him in order to, like, not have, like, as much of a tight choke on him. And then he was able to then just, like, control him on top and then make it to the second round, or the third round, sorry. And in the third round, Smith was able to outbox him. He looked very quick with his jab. He had a really solid jab, and he won the third round. And then in the last, like, 10 seconds, Morales gets, like, he clinches him, and then he gets a choke on him in, like, a weird position. I don't even know what the position he had him on, but when he got him, he had it, like, it was right there. He had it right under his neck, and I bet you that if that was, like, 30 seconds, like, before the clock, like, if that was, like, 30 seconds more, he would have submitted Smith. But because it was, like, 10 seconds, and Smith he heard, like, like, you know, the things where it's like 10 seconds and there's like bing bing. He heard that and he wasn't gonna tap. So it was really tight though. His face was like, oh, you know, it was like I don't even know what I just did right there, but he had a really tight choke on him, but he was able to survive and he was able to get the win. Not the best performance because he almost got choked out like a couple times. He definitely needs to work on his submission defense. But it was a fun fight as far as I'm concerned. So, good job. Alright, then we had Gabriel Bonfilm versus Chaos Williams. Now, guys, we had a 3-fight winning streak as far as my predictions go. And then Chaos Williams comes in and completely screws over my entire predictions. He loses by submission, looking like with his face. Oh my god, and he lost in like the first round. I mean, come on, man. But yeah, that was a good job from Bonfilm. I mean, he had him a good choke, and the dude's Chaos Williams' face was like, his eyes were rolled back, his mouth was wide open. He was just passed out on the ground. It was a really tight choke he had on him. So, I mean, yeah, good job for Bonfilm. Alright, next fight we have Rafael Estevam versus Jesus Alaguer. This one, I thought Rafael was going to submit him. It went to a decision. Got this one correct as well. So, That's good for me. It was a lot of grappling, not that exciting if I'm going to be honest. Just good job for Rafael. He got the win. All right, Angeli Leal versus Kel Zuza. I got this one wrong. I thought Angela Hill was going to win this fight, or lose this fight, sorry. But no, she actually was able to, win this fight by split decision. The only time she actually wins a fight is by split decision. It is what it is. I mean, the fact that she was able to win, at 4 years old, that's good for her. So, yeah, good job. All right, next fight. Connor Matthews versus Jose Dalagdu. Yeah, I got this one wrong. This was arguably my most anticipated fight because I did so much research on this fight in particular outside of, the main event. And I get it wrong. So, me doing a lot of research doesn't help at all. So, story of the memo is, kids, don't do any research. It doesn't matter. No, I'm joking, but yeah, no. I didn't. I guess I got this one wrong. I did say that if Jose won, I wouldn't have been surprised. And I wasn't. He got the win, but he did by TKO in the first round. So fair play to him, and that was a really good performance for his debut. All right, next up, Rado Vera versus Andre Petroski. So yeah, I got this one wrong also. It was rough, this card, I'm not gonna lie. But it also was just extremely boring. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I skipped out of this one. I had to do something real quick. This fight was just not good at all. Andre won, but it was by extremely boring decision. The last 10 seconds were somewhat interesting, but that was literally it. Alright, next one. Amzel Boufim versus Nazim Saldekouv. Boufim was actually winning the round, the first round, but then Nazim caught him with a questionable leg kick right in the head, and Boufim was he was blocking his right eye because it looked hurt. And then when the doctors came in, they stopped the fight because he literally couldn't see. Although immediately after the fight, he was saying that he could see, and it was just a lot of just weird stuff going on. But I think he might have broken his orbital bone. That's what it feels like, because he didn't get poked in the eye or poked by the dude's foot, because he, remember he got kicked in the face. I feel like he might have broken his orbital bone. That's why he couldn't see. But that was a really good performance from Nazim, doing that in the first round with a really good questionable leg kick. That was pretty good. All right, now we have Amdim versus Dylan Buka. You notice that we're skipping through these fights, so we're just recapping the ones that just went very quickly, really quickly, because nothing really happened that much. Same with this one. I knew Dylan was gonna get KO'd. But Adam was able to do it in the first round. Even better. It makes us skip to the co-main and main event. Good job for Eldim. You made this fight much quicker. Also, cut Dylan from the UFC. This guy is on a 3-fight losing streak. He's absolutely horrible. He's shit. Just kick him out. Alright, now we're on the co-main event. Calvin Kattar versus Yusel Zala. Zala got the win. I didn't expect him to go for the striking approach. I did not think that he was going to try and strike with Calvin Kattar, but the fact that he did, and he won for the most part the striking, that was pretty good. But I will say, the way that he was striking just didn't give off anything impressive. He was quick. His jab was really good. I will give him that. And he had the long reach. I didn't think he was going to be that long compared to Calvin Kattar, but he was. And he used his jab extremely well throughout the first 2 rounds. And you could tell Calvin Kattar was annoyed. He was pissed off. And so his coaches were telling him to just throw everything. And Calvin Kattar did, but at the same time he didn't. And also, first of all, me and my father were watching this, and we're just losing our mind because he's Calvin Kattar's not even trying to cut him off. In the third round when he's trying to press him, because he was able to catch him a couple times, but what he would do was be he would catch him, push him in the cage, Zala would just back away, move to the side, and Calvin Kattar would, what he should have done was cut him off. But what he did was he just followed him, which is something you should never do. It doesn't matter if it's MMA, boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, whatever. Don't follow them. Cut them off. That is the number one thing, and that cost him the fight, I feel. If he actually tried to cut him off and pursue him, I feel like he could have won the fight by TKO or something like that, because he was catching him. But Zahil was able to escape and actually play smart. But he also played very safe, and the crowd was not happy. How do you get booed in the Apex? That's the first time I've ever seen someone getting booed in the Apex arena. But with that being said, good job for Zahil. He actually beat Calvin Kattar, and now he's a top 10 ranked opponent in the featherweight division. All right, now the main event: Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. I picked Gregory Rodrigues to win this fight, and I thought he was about to take him out in like the first round because he dropped Jared Cannonier like twice or something like that. But Jared Cannonier was able to survive, and then in the second round, Rodrigues looked so tired. He looked so tired. I couldn't believe they got tired. Like, I mean, I could because I saw Michael Pereira get tired in like the first 5 seconds in his main event fight. So I could have seen, so I'm not that surprised, but at the same time, you know, you shouldn't be tired in like the start of the second round. Like, come on. And Jared Cannonier was able to pressure him a lot in the second round. Then in going into the third round, it was relatively competitive, actually. Gregory Rodrigues, I felt what he did was, he wasn't necessarily tired. He was, but he was more or less reserving his energy going into the third round. And then he actually did catch Jared Cannonier a couple times in the third, and it was relatively close up until the last like 20 seconds where Jared Cannonier lands a nasty elbow right on his face, makes Gregory Rodrigues fall to the ground, and Jared Cannonier literally was so close to TKOing him. Had he had like 10 more seconds, he would have gotten him in like the third round. And he thought he finished him, but it was the end of the third. And then going into the fourth, Jared Cannonier finished him. Like, he finished him, did what he had to do. It was a great performance from Jared Cannonier, and it was a great fight, honestly. This was one of those fights where it's the veteran showing the new up-and-coming guy that there was levels to this game, and he showed his experience as well. He was able to weather in the storm that Gregory Rodrigues threw, and you know what this fight reminded me a lot? Guys, this fight reminded me a lot from Joe Pyfer versus Jack Hermansson. I don't know if you guys remember, but that was a fight from last year where Joe Pyfer was an up-and-coming guy, and he fought a ranked contender, a relatively old guy who had experience. And Joe Pyfer was able to like rock him in like the first 2 rounds, but then he got tired, and Jack Hermansson showed his experience and was able to win the fight. Same thing applied here. Jared Cannonier almost got finished in the first round, but Jared Cannonier was able to weather the storm and show his experience and get the TKO win over Gregory Rodrigues. Great performance. It was really nice to see that from Jared Cannonier. This was one of those fights where it just felt great to see him win. But guys, that is me covering everything that took place at UFC Fight Night, Jared Cannonier versus Gregory Rodrigues. I also wanted to do something a little bit different with this card, so what I did for this card, I kept track of like who I got right and who I got wrong, and I got 7 out of my 12 predictions correct. You know, it's not the worst, it's not the best, it was overall average, but yeah, that's how my prediction went for this card. Let me know what you guys thought of this Fight Night card. Did you think it was good? Did you think it was bad? Let me know what you guys thought of the main event. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Peace!